What up, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with Truth Table. Welcome to the table. Today, fellas, I'm coming to you with some information that I believe you need to hear. Because one of the things about my channel is that I want to bring you guys things to just consider, things that you can apply to your life. Because a lot of guys I just see are so far behind the 8 ball, and fellas, we gotta do better. But before I get started, before I get in the kitchen, start mixing, start cooking, because that's what I do, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. For my new subscribers, welcome to the Truth Table family. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for rocking with your boy. I appreciate it. I'm going to continue to bring this content. So, without further ado, what do I want to talk to you gentlemen about today? Well, fellas, what I see is I observe that a lot of guys now, and I don't know if it's just a modern thing or it's like a new found type of energy, but a lot of guys I see are not used to interacting with pretty women. That's what I see. How can I say this? How do I determine this? Well, it's the energy exchange. It's the type of demeanor that the guys that, when I observe them, live and in person, like IRL, in real life, right? The dudes that I see now don't seem to be accustomed or used to talking to pretty women. They act all gooberish. They act all like little boys in an unfamiliar space and start fiddling with stuff, acting all nervous. I don't understand. And so I wanted to talk to you guys because I was like, man, like what's going on? A lot of guys give women too much credit. They give women entirely too much clout. They give them too much priority and position. And quite frankly, fellas, it needs to stop. I learned a long time ago, and one of the things that helped me kind of gather this information is I was privileged enough to travel abroad. So thus far, I've been in about 18 countries. My perspective is not just a domestic perspective, it's a global perspective. But one of the things and the benefits that I got around traveling was the fact that I interacted with women from all different types of cultures, all different places in the world, and all, relatively, at least the ones that I interacted with, were very, very attractive, very, very beautiful women. Now, what I was able to draw the comparison was that a lot of times the women in the other parts of the world were not only attractive, but they were quality. And it's one of the reasons why I hear a lot of guys now talking about getting their passports and jumping on planes, which I do encourage, for more than one reason. Don't just go over to the other parts of the world, fellas, so that you can interact with women. Go to other parts of the world so you can see the world. That it'll help you to expand your horizons. It'll help you to interact with culture, gain some different practices, even a different perspective, which you can bring back to the place of wherever you reside in this part of the world, or wherever you reside in the part of the world, and hopefully apply more to your life. But anyway, so what that helped me to understand was that, in a sense, it helped me to identify my standard. What I always liked was someone, woman-wise, who was mature, who could have a conversation, who was engaging, and who wasn't doing it on no phony, no fake stuff. Like, it was a legitimate type of interaction. Did it help if they were attractive? Obviously, of course. But what it was for me was not just how pretty she was, gentlemen, because pretty is just not enough. Just to be honest with you, pretty don't pay the bills. Pretty don't make your FICO go up. Pretty don't make you lose weight. Pretty doesn't, get more money in your pocket. Pretty doesn't make your car faster. Pretty's just pretty. It's nice to look at, and I get it, no cap over here. I understand what it is to walk around with a woman who's attractive and gains the type of energy and attention from everyone. See, fellas, when you walk around with a baddie, when you walk around with a woman that is very attractive, I get it. Socially, it gives you a lot of equity. Not only do the fellas in the building respect you and give you that, like, okay, dude, you did that, so do the women. There's this thing called I think is it social proof? I don't know if it's social proof. Women do it. It is a forgive me, I'm trying to remember the term, but it is pre-selection. That's what it is, pre-selection. That's something about when a man is interacting with a woman, has a woman, especially an attractive one, other women around that space, around that man, will be like, okay, because the girl co-signed me pretty much. So I do get it, fellas. And I understand that it is necessary. Now, why am I talking about this? I'm talking about it because I think that the way that it's done is in a way that I'm seeing men take a back seat to their own masculinity. I'm seeing men not be able to stand and interact with these women with their overall frame intact, with their overall, personality, the fullness of themselves. They are being pandering. They're taking a secondary role in what is their position as a man. And that's a problem, especially for a man like myself observing it. See, one of the things that also I was privileged to do is I've dated lots of women. I've dated very attractive women. The showstoppers is what I call them. The ones that you walk into the room and they like, they get the looks, they get the attention. They're so attractive that it's shocking. So I guess for me, it's one of them things where once you've done it several times and it becomes your norm, it's no longer out of your reach. It is your standard. It is the norm. And what I want is, so how do I get here? I'll talk about that. Because guys have even asked me, man, how did you get her? It's kind of like offensive. Like, wait a minute. Like, I don't even know how to take it. Do I take it like, how do I get her because they really want to know? Or how do I get her because in their eyes, I shouldn't be able to walk around with a girl like that? Whichever, however, the point is that, how did I get there? I got there, fellas, because one thing that I've always done is I've always seen myself as valuable. No point in my life, in recent years, have I not moved in confidence? Have I not moved from a space and understanding that I am quality first? I'm worth someone wanting to get to know me. I'm worth someone spending time with. I'm worth someone seeing value in. That started before any of these females showed up. And what that helped me to do was when I was actually interacting with them, see, it wasn't a shock to me that they were pretty. And it wasn't a shock to me that they were responding to me in a way that they responded to me. It was expected. And I think that that's the difference. I don't see men now moving in a space to where this is expected. It's like if they get the attention of a pretty woman, and a very pretty one at that, or whatever pretty is for them, they almost act like they have to do more. They got to perform. They have to flex. They have to show her some type of, selling point. And it's sad to see, fellas. Like, it really is sad to see. It's kind of like I said, little boys. When I observed little boys, because I've worked in spaces with children and development. I was a camp counselor at one point. I used to counsel teenagers and things of that nature. But anyway, when I was watching little boys interact sometimes with little girls, when little boys get excited, they could do something good, like a little dance move, or, they're strong, they can lift something, or, they got a bike, like whatever it may be. They're like, they pull up on her and they're like, hit a little bell or do a little papa wheelie. And then the little girls are, impressed or whatever. All right, that's cool when you're young. That's cool when you're young. You're a scrub. You're a goober. You're still trying to figure out how to move about the world and showcase self, showcase confidence. But fellas, when you become a grown man, those things fall back. You don't have to rev the engine. You don't have to bump the music. You don't have to name drop or tell her who you know or who. That's lame, yo. Like, it's on such goober status. And that's what I see a lot now, is guys are so effeminate, to be honest with you. They are so lacking confidence that I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's, not being around enough men to be able to show you how you're supposed to do this thing. Because one of the privileges that I had is that I was raised by my dad. So that was definitely a privilege. But besides my dad, I learned about myself through interacting with other men. My dad was the starting point. You know, he did his thing. He did his job, and I'm grateful. But what really helped me was kicking it around, you know, knuckleheads, kicking around people on the block, kicking around my knucklehead cousins, you know, spending time in, you know, areas that I shouldn't have been in, the military, so on and so forth. I grabbed certain things from men, watching how they moved, and then kind of trying to see if I fit in those particular characteristics, or if those characteristics belong to me. The things that were positive and progressive, I adopted. The things that weren't, I didn't. But I was put up on game a long time ago. And the old heads used to talk to me and let me know that the one thing that you do all the time is that you maintain self. You maintain being you. Being you is never not cool. And that's what I want to share with you fellas. You being yourself, you being authentic is never not cool. And if it's about you having to do more, change up who you are, or, you know, create some type of marketing campaign for a female to find you impressive, yo, you're losing. You're losing. And I don't want to see that. I want to see more men walk into the fullness of themselves and understand that it ain't just about females. It's bigger than that. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys more before I end, because I'm at my 11-minute mark and I try to give you guys about 15 minutes or so, is that fellas need to understand that just because she pretty don't mean she not trash. There is a lot of pretty trash out here, fellas. Hear me. There is a lot of pretty trash. I have interacted with so many females. I interact with females still till this day. I was actually out tonight, and what is just so interesting is, again, watching how men respond to these young ladies is sickening, and it's concerning. And that's what I wanted to discuss today, that, gentlemen, just because she's attractive, just because she's halfway decent looking, she still needs to be vetted. She still needs to be treated in a manner that she has to impress you. She has to show you why she's worth your time. She has to show you why she's worth that date. One of the practices that I had when I was actively dating, I mean like aggressively dating when I was in my 20s more so, was that girls have to qualify for dates. I wasn't just throwing out, you know, my availability, my resources, and my freedom like that. Like, I talked to her, and if she was dope enough after time spent, time invested, conversations have been had, she was maybe worth it, then I would take her out on a date. But that wasn't immediate. I wasn't immediately just throwing out a benefits package or trying to impress her. Nah, it wasn't about that. I would make her earn a date. What I found was that those type of practices for me helped me to solidify a lot more significant connections. And it also helped me to weed out the nonsense. You know, if a girl was just trying to get a free meal or whichever. No. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I take you to Disneyland on a private jet, to New York, wherever we're going to go, bottle service. You're dealing with me. You're dealing with the dude. And I think that's what I want to see more men present. Present the fact that the experience is you. She needs to be there for you. And if she's not there for you, she don't deserve to be there. There's tons of women, fellas. Billions of them. Attractive ones. Stop operating from this place of lack. You know, they talk about it in this space that a lot of guys are operating from this place of they're not abundant in their mind. Abundance is a mindset. Before your money shows up, before the life that you want shows up, before you are going to be the man that you are destined to be, it has to start here. You have to see it clear as day. And you have to speak to it and create that very persona and mindset and so on and so forth in here, in self. A lot of people think, and a lot of guys think that when I get my bag or when I get my title, I'm going to feel different. That's nonsense. That's not how it works. If you do just so happen to luck up and hack the system, because it does happen, some people become lucky or they have, you know, opportunities that come their way. If you're not ready for that opportunity, if you are not that dude, if you are not fortified and built at the level to be able to maintain it, you'll fumble it. You'll fumble the bag, I promise you. So be the legitimate dudes that I know you can be. Be the men that I know you were destined to be. And a part of that is understanding that no female is better than you. No woman is out of your reach. That's how you got to feel. That's how you got to see it. So that was what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. Like I said, I'm going to continue to put out this content. I am, again, mobile. I actually just came in from being out, so I'm about to end my night, but I wanted to touch down, put some content on the channel, make sure you guys understand and know that I'm still here for you, still rocking with you. Going to continue to put this content out. If you have not already done so, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I so appreciate it, and I will be bringing you guys another video very soon. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies, for those who are peeping. I appreciate it as well. Until next time.